In today's video, I'm going to show you my method for making a solid and an eye-catching portfolio post. This can also be used on social media such as Pinterest and Behance. Now, portfolios are absolutely essential and fundamental to the success of a graphic designer's career, and things start out with an authentic and a professional portfolio, which then you want to get as many eyes viewing as possible, resulting in more clients and more revenue to yourself as a graphic designer. Now, before we make our awesome portfolio graphic design post, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to actually make it. Now, firstly, you need access to high quality royalty-free imagery, and I personally suggest websites such as Pixabay, and also Unsplash is another good one too. These sites offer high resolution imagery that you can use on commercial projects totally for free. Now, you can download the highest resolution option possible without having to credit the author of the image itself. So once you have your imagery, you're going to need some kind of mock-up, because we're going to make our portfolio post look truly awesome and eye-catching by using mock-ups and various other techniques. Now, some of the sites I've linked down below include Graphic Burger and also Mockup World. Try and choose a mockup that follows a certain style or maybe a color scheme for your very own portfolio post, and you do want to have a running theme throughout the entire design. And we're going to explore that in more detail in the actual design phase of today's tutorial. But anyway, once you've downloaded some mockups and some imagery, it's now time to head into Photoshop and make our document setup. We want to make a really elongated document that's going to allow us to tell a kind of story based around your graphic design project heading down the canvas. So I'm going to start with 1300 pixels in width and then 9000 pixels in height. We can adjust this later, but this is a good starting point. And as you can see, we have a very narrow and a long canvas to be working on. So go ahead and open up some of your imagery. And one thing about Pixabay imagery is that it is really high resolution, and that's going to be perfect for our graphic design portfolio posts. You really don't want the final outcome to be blurry. And for my design, I like to utilize the background of an image to create the basis of my portfolio. So in this example, you can see the grey backdrop, and this can act as the base for my artwork. Now, using the marquee tool, and then simply press Command or Control T and then extend it outwards while holding down Shift. Now, we're going to build up our portfolio post downward by giving information and context to the graphic design project that you worked on. And in this portfolio post, I'm showcasing a logo design that I worked on back in 2017. So when making a portfolio post for a logo design, I like to depict the logo at the very top in some way, shape or form. Now, I can copy the logo from Illustrator with Command or Control C and then paste it into Photoshop for the portfolio document. Now, as we move on with the project, you will see just how eye-catching this format can be for your very own portfolio designs. In Photoshop, I like to use the layer blend modes here to set the logo into the background in a nice and subtle manner. This gives the portfolio a specific look, and I feel it works really well. I've actually decided to align the logo to the vintage camera, and again use the marquee tool to extend the background downward, and also you can use the clone stamp tool as well by selecting areas on the background and then copying them in new locations. For the text content on your portfolio post, try and use the same font throughout the entire design, or at least the font family, because this will keep the visual theme continuous and it's going to tie in your artwork together neatly and professionally. Also, be sure to play around with hierarchy and other techniques to make a visually appealing portfolio post. Utilizing guides can also be very beneficial to having your content in line and centered on your page. And as you can see, I've aligned the text on the left-hand edge to the camera. I could go ahead and center the text, but that wouldn't look too great if you ask me. And remember, if you do want to learn essential skills as a graphic designer and make things such as awesome portfolio posts, subscribe to my channel for weekly graphic design content. But on with the tutorial, I'm going to keep in line with the color scheme of my artwork, which is pretty much grayscale, and then use the rectangle tool to add in a new section. In a very brief and roundabout way, I've shown the process of generating the concept for my logo design, starting with the M symbol, and having a linear kind of origami approach to design, resulting in the final design solution. Now I've done this by using the 3 circular graphics that you can see on screen. Adding in some textual content too is another way to add some context. And yes, the 3 circle graphics are not aligned centrally, and that's my fault for rushing the design, but I'll go back and edit that at a later date. I only realized that after recording this video. Another great tip is to add in the fonts that you've chosen for your project and then to display the alphabetical characters. Now I do this in all of my portfolio posts, and I feel it gives yet more context to the viewer of your portfolio. You really want to generate a sort of simplified story based around your project using visual cues and also context. So what about the mockups that we downloaded earlier? Well, they're going to come into play right now. I'm not going to spend some time showing you how to add your designs to a mockup because it's pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. Simply open the mockup in Photoshop and then double click the layer that asks you to put your artwork inside of. You then put in your artwork and then save that file, and Photoshop will place your artwork into the mockup. Keep building your portfolio post downward using mockups and other sections, and make sure you keep in line with your style and also your color scheme. And I've gone for a grayscale theme that also uses hints of gold too. I'm going to go back and revise this design because there are some edits and mistakes that I've made and I want to change. But again, that's why you shouldn't rush your portfolio posts like I've done today for today's video. The final results do look really neat and awesome on platforms such as Pinterest and also Behance. So let me know what you think of this portfolio post format. And also, did you notice the 3 circles were not aligned on my design before I mentioned it, or did it not occur to you? Now if you want to check out more ways to boost your graphic design portfolio and skills, check out the playlist linked at the very end of today's video. Like and share my videos on social media, and of course, until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.